When Sarah told me she wanted to pause our marriage, I honestly thought she was kidding. After 8 years together, things weren't perfect, but I never imagined she'd say something like that. She claimed she needed some space, a break to find herself on a solo trip to Tokyo. I tried to understand, but deep down, something felt wrong. Still, I agreed. Maybe because I wanted to trust her, or maybe because I was scared that saying no would push her even further away. The night before she left, she kissed me goodbye with a strange kind of distance. Her eyes didn't linger like they used to. When I helped her load her suitcase into the car, it felt like I was helping a stranger. I stood at the doorway, waving as she drove off, completely unaware that this so-called pause would end up changing my life forever. At first, I tried to stay positive. I threw myself into work, spent time with friends, and kept busy. But soon her calls grew shorter, her texts came later, and eventually, she stopped saying, "I love you." Then she stopped calling altogether. I kept telling myself it was the time difference, or that she was just busy exploring Tokyo, but my gut knew the truth: something was off. One sleepless night, I opened her Instagram. There she was, laughing beneath neon lights, arms full of shopping bags, standing beside a man I didn't recognize. I tried to convince myself he was just a travel companion, until I noticed his hand on her waist, a heart emoji in the caption, and comments from friends that made everything clear. Sarah hadn't paused our marriage, she had replaced it. For 4 days, I felt nothing. No anger, no tears, just emptiness. I didn't call, text, or confront her. I wanted her to think I was fine, that I was moving on. But inside, something shifted. I decided if she could let go so easily, maybe I should too, not out of bitterness, but out of quiet, calm revenge. The kind that doesn't destroy you, but frees you. 2 weeks later, she finally called. Her voice was casual, almost cheerful. "Hey, just checking in," she said, as if nothing had happened. I played along, pretending everything was normal. She mentioned she'd be home in 2 weeks and wanted to talk. I told her I'd be here. She had no idea that she'd be coming back to a very different version of our home, and of me. During those 2 weeks, I focused on myself. I redecorated the house, got back in shape, reconnected with old friends, and started going out more. One of my co-workers, Emma, had always been kind to me. She could tell something was wrong but never pushed. Her presence was peaceful, something I hadn't felt in a long time. She reminded me that love shouldn't have to be begged for. When Sarah's flight finally landed, I didn't rush to the airport. I simply sent a text, "Welcome home." She showed up later that night, luggage in hand, expecting a warm reunion. Instead, she walked into a completely changed living room, her photos gone, her side of the closet empty. She froze when she saw me calmly sitting on the couch. "You redecorated?" she asked, forcing a smile. "I moved on," I said simply. "You paused our marriage." "I didn't," she tried to laugh, insisting I'd misunderstood, claiming the man in her photos was just a friend. But I'd already seen enough. The truth was plain, and I was done listening to excuses. It became obvious that she expected to pick up where she'd left off. I told her that while she'd been in Tokyo finding herself, I had found myself too, and realized I didn't want to be married to someone who treated love like a game she could pause and resume at will. She started to cry, saying she'd made a mistake. Maybe she had, but some mistakes can't be undone. The next few days were quiet and tense. She stayed in the guest room while she searched for a new place. I didn't yell or argue. I'd already let her go. My revenge wasn't in hurting her, it was in showing her that she no longer had power over me. Before leaving, She asked if I'd ever forgive her. I told her forgiveness wasn't the issue, I just didn't have any feelings left to rebuild from. She nodded softly and set her keys on the table. Watching her drive away this time felt different. I wasn't broken anymore. I was free. Months later, I heard she tried to reach out to Emma, maybe to stir things up. But Emma, being who she is, told her calmly that I wasn't interested in drama. That was the final closure I needed. Now, when I look back, I don't see a man who was betrayed. I see a man who learned strength through honesty. Sarah might have paused our marriage, but I pressed fast forward, into a life where peace, not pain, became my quiet revenge.